And better isn't perfect, but better is better than nothing. That kind of felt like a Sondheim song. Well, it's almost Black Friday, which means with the way the internet works, it kind of already is Black Friday. Because as the internet often does, what once was a sort of special, maniacally magical, physical day, if you weren't a retail worker, is now a week, a month, a Cyber Monday, a this, a that. It's a celebration of us getting taken advantage of by companies. We are so far beyond what Cyber Monday could ever contain. And Black Friday is kind of hard. The Sephora sale, which I did an anti-haul of this year, is sort of easy to contain. It's a pretty paltry percent off a pretty select group of products. Makeup, skincare, fragrance, etc. Black Friday, as I mentioned, is everywhere. Everything is on sale. Despite the ever-expanding nature of Black Friday and how hard it is to contain at this point, it also contradicts itself because it feels so urgent. Like if we don't hop on a flash sale, that item will never be on sale again. If we don't join the pre-sale to the Black Friday pre-sale, that the one product we actually kind of want from the brand will be sold out, so we really need to go ahead and buy that one product before it sells out. Even though this will go on for months and will honestly probably go on until Christmas, it somehow manages to feel so urgent and so once in a lifetime, even though I think we're now all aware that it is far from once in a lifetime. The climate right now in the United States is it's a cesspool. Over shopping, if you struggle with over shopping, if you struggle with overconsumption, is difficult right now. It's difficult not to give in to those temptations when life seems a bit hopeless, a bit sad. And I've done a video about that too if you want a more general overview of how I try to avoid overconsuming and overconsumption in really trying times. But in this video, I want to concentrate on Black Friday and really come at the angle of what are we as a community, as a beauty community, as a clove room community, as a queer trans community, as a community going to do about Black Friday this year. I hope it helps you if you are feeling stressed or anxious about the onslaught of sales and marketing and ads that we're about to be subject to, that we've already been subject to, that I have already been subject to and have almost given into. I just want us to get through it and be okay and be happy with our decisions. Because here's the thing, shopping's supposed to be fun. Buying something that you love, for me that's usually makeup, but it can sometimes be clothing or fragrance or whatever, but it's mostly makeup. Makeup is what makes me happy. Buying makeup should not feel stressful. It shouldn't feel dirty. It shouldn't feel shameful. It should feel fun, and it shouldn't feel so tight. You know, and I feel like it feels really tight this time of year if you struggle with this type of thing, and I just want us to enjoy what we are giving our hard-earned money for and make sure we can use everything we have and make sure we can afford everything we buy. And before I get into kind of the list of things I have to say about what we're going to do about Black Friday this year, just a quick channel plug. My name is Cam. I'm a non-binary trans femme creator. I love to talk about beauty and consumption, the internet, culture too, and how it all intersects. I do it from a very trans perspective, and I try to center the experience of trans people on my channel. So if you do end up enjoying this video, please give it a like. Please subscribe if you want to see future stuff. I am planning right now to do some version of Clovemas like I did last year. I'm looking forward to that. I hope you are too. And I actually do have a video last year from Black Friday. I may somewhat repeat the points, and the underlying theology, I suppose you could say, of it is pretty similar. We'll link that video from last year below if you want to go watch that one too, if you need more counter-programming. First point I want to make. It's okay to get the things you actually want. Just make sure they are the things you actually want. That sounds really simple, but I don't think it is. Contrary to what you might think, I believe, there is nothing wrong with shopping on Black Friday if you want to shop on Black Friday or around Black Friday or Cyber Week. Every time I hear like Cyber Week or Cyber Monday, I think of Rent, the Over the Moon song, like, oh, yeah, to do is jump over. Like that one, when she's like, Cyberland, when Idina Menzel says that. She's talking about like milking the udders or whatever. I need to rewatch for it. It's been a while. Anyway, there's nothing wrong with shopping around Black Friday. If you are excited about the sales, if you are somebody who plans for this time of year to use most of your budget or financial resources around beauty to purchase stuff because you believe it's the best time to buy it, there is nothing wrong with that. However, what happens, and has definitely happened to me in the past, is when I don't go into these type of saving events, as the companies want us to call them, when I don't go into sales with a clear plan, I always end up buying things that I didn't plan for or even really want. I'm just like, I'll take that. Oh my god, I forgot that brand exists. They're doing a sale. Oh my goodness, this brand has my email apparently. And I've always been curious, or maybe was curious a year ago and then I forgot about it because I didn't really need it. But now they're on sale. It's like 40% off. Well, what am I to do? Not buy it? It really unravels and devolves quite quickly. Impulse purchasing is so real and can really mess up your plans or whatever projects or goals you have for yourself. So I think if you are wanting to shop Black Friday, but you're really trying to be a little bit more conservative about it, or to try to pull back a little from previous experiences, just what do you actually want? Like, what are the things that you're like, I really have wanted a new cleanser, so I want to be on the lookout for that. I wanted to try a new foundation, and I've always wanted to try the Hourglass one, so I'm looking for what might be the best deal on that. Plan for those things, and make sure that you are going to get the things you want. I am thinking, and actually am right now building a list of things that I have thought through, that I really wanted, and that I have space for in my life, and that I think it's going to help me be really clear on Black Friday, because already, like today, I was on Ulta's website, was looking for a face mask because I've been missing having like a face mask that I can use that's like in a pot. So not like a reusable sheet mask, a tub of a face mask. And my favorite ones were the Glossier ones, but Glossier discontinued them. So I was looking around on Ulta to see what they had available. And MAC was 30% off. And I was like, oh my gosh, let me look. And I was like, oh, their liquid pin concealer thing? That sounds good, because they kind of advertise it as this glowy concealer product that I could also use as like a foundation. And I've been wanting to like, refresh my complexion products. No, I haven't. Everything I just told you is a lie. I've never been interested in that pin clicky thing. I don't want it. I haven't heard anybody talk about it. It might be fine, but like, that's not what I want. I don't want anything from MAC. And I like even added something to cart, and I was like, and then I was like, jump scare. Like, what am I doing? I don't want anything from MAC. And I don't know why I'm on the Ulta website right now. So whenever I have that kind of moment, I'm always a big fan of either physically running out of the store, dropping the items. Of course, we're not stealing. If I'm shopping online, like in this case, I just exit out of all of my tabs and I'm like, hands up, utensils down, Top Chef style. And even though I have like a pretty set list of things that I'm comfortable buying during Black Friday, that still almost happened to me just because like I saw something was like a big percentage off, and it's something maybe in the past I've been vaguely interested in. Here's the thing, now that Black Friday is everywhere, it's all around us. It's like the Love and Love Actually, except it's consumerism. It's all around us. Like, it's at all angles. It's not even like a week, it's a month. It's basically until Christmas, we are going to be up against a lot of marketing and ad tactics that are at best kind of uncool and at worst unethical. So we need to be prepared in those worst case scenarios. And it's really easy sometimes when you're in a good headspace to be like, yeah, I'm just going to spend like $100 on Black Friday sales, and that's going to be super easy. I know exactly the things I actually want, but then as soon as you have a bad day, as soon as somebody says something kind of sideways to you, as soon as you get a text from your family, you're like, actually, max 30% off on Ulta. Click, click, clack. I'm going to buy it all. And it's okay to let those things happen and to experience those feelings. And again, I'm not a big believer in shame or telling you that that is wrong. But what I am going to say is we have to be prepared for that. So having like a really strict list and also naming that and being like, I know what you are and I'm only considering buying something because I'm having a bad day, because I am feeling bad about the world or my life or my community. Naming that and being aware of that is going to be so helpful in fighting that and trying to resist that. It is okay. I think I'll probably shop a couple of Black Friday sales. It is okay to shop on Black Friday or around Black Friday. Let's make sure we're getting the things we actually want and not just impulse purchasing things in bad moments or because they happen to be a percent off. And going in with that clear intention, I think, is really helpful, and it makes shopping feel more stabilized. I know I'm kind of in trouble when I'm thinking about shopping primarily, like I'm at work or I'm on break or I'm, wherever, and I'm like, well, if I buy this and then if I don't buy this, I'll carry the one, I'll take that out of my cart, but then I'll put this in my cart. Hyper fixating on it is, I just like, it's not like healthy, and in my experience at least, I guess I'm talking from my experience, you don't want the buying, like Tom, my friend Homeless Tom says, you don't want the buying the thing to be the highlight or the climax of your experience with the thing. You want using the thing and learning how it works in your collection and getting good use on it down the road. You want that to be the highlight or the climax with the product. You don't want the first kind of like initial fantasy buying and tracking. You don't want that to be the highlight. And if you're going into Black Friday and you have a really clear direction and interest in things, I feel like that's going to go a lot better for you. If you are just shopping Black Friday not because you need anything, but because you get a thrill out of this sort of thing, and it's kind of like a spark for you, and it haunts your mind, it haunts your dreams, you go to bed thinking about it, you wake up thinking about it. And again, I'm not saying this out of judgment, I'm saying it because I've been there with shopping when it has been the most exciting and important thing in my life. I would just be a little cautious of that. Shopping isn't gambling. Shopping isn't a thrill sport. Shopping should be something you have complete control and autonomy over. And if you don't have that, totally fair. We live in a world that encourages you to think like that. And it's hard to be alive right now. I would just caution you to step back and say, how can I untangle this little? And that doesn't mean cold turkey. Cold turkey doesn't work for most people, in my experience, in my personal experience, and also knowing other people. Cold turkey quitting things that you struggle with, it's hard. It's also easy to do the opposite of cold turkey. Hot turkey, I guess, and just like completely go back into it. But take a step back. Maybe don't shop as much. Maybe try to meditate or try to think of something else that isn't that tangible grab bag sensation that you can get from shopping. All right, next point is something I'm very passionate about, and I think I did mention in my last Black Friday video, but I just think it's so important. Just because it's the best deal doesn't mean it's the best time to buy it. Now is not the best time to buy something just because it is the highest discount available for that item. It's just not. Economically, yes. If we were all economic professors and we were sitting around and we were like, well, right now it's 40% off and usually it's max 20% off, so now of course is the best time to buy it. However, we are not taking in a lot of other really important factors there. One, how's your bank account right now? Because if you have money for extras like makeup in April, buying the thing in April when it's less of a discount or maybe even not on a discount is so much better than buying it now just because it's a good deal if you don't have the budget or the funds to support this extra purchase. Do you have usage goals? Are you almost done with, I'm almost done with 3 complexion products right now. I'm really trying to resist bringing in anything new because I am seeing really good use on a lot of my products. But I know as soon as the new and shiny thing comes in, usage on those stops and I want to concentrate on this cool new thing I got. Or I like the old stuff a lot better, so even when I focus on the new thing, then I always inevitably go back to the old things that I should have just finished and completely panned anyway. And the new thing is just sitting there why did you even buy me? And it's well, because it was the best time to buy it. And the new thing's well, clearly not, because I'm gathering dust in your drawer. So it wasn't the best time to buy it. Don't let these companies and these marketing campaigns and influencers tell you now is the best time to buy it, because they are working with incomplete information. And I feel like I said that same exact sentence in last year's video, but it's true. They're working with incomplete information. The only person who knows your experience, who knows what or how you should be consuming goods right now, is yourself. You're the only one with that knowledge. So just be aware of that. Be aware that even if it's at the highest discount, even if it seems it's never going to be that price again. One, it probably will be, because sales are rampant and sales happen all the time now. And two, if it's not the best time for you to financially buy it, it's not the best time. Wait. And maybe wait until you are for sure you want that item, and maybe just buy that thing later. And it might be full price, or it might be not as big of a discount, and that's fine. All right, next point I want to make is differentiating panic buying and being prepared. I've seen quite a few accounts mention that whatever is coming down the pipeline with tariffs in the US means you should stock up on your beauty products now and buy backups during Black Friday because the price is going to really balloon next year and be a lot more expensive. I am not saying that is entirely wrong, but I am saying to be careful. You really gotta be like more than 100% sure when you buy a backup, in my opinion. Like you gotta be like 500% sure that you are going to, one, finish the product you're going to buy a backup for, and two, will want to use that product again. If you're somebody who likes testing beauty, who likes having different products in the rotation, I wouldn't count on your future self not wanting to buy a new release or something different once you finish the thing that you love. It's just such, again, a gamble, and shopping is not gambling. Shopping is something we should be really sure and secure about, and I just feel like backups often are you betting against your future self. I'm not saying that being worried about the price of beauty is wrong at all. Brands have already been quite bold with price increases and just prices in general with items they're releasing lately. And if the tariffs are as bad or as intense as have been advertised, things will likely go up in price. However, I don't think that's a good excuse to panic buy and stockpile a bunch of backups that you aren't even close to using up your first product of, and using it as an excuse to buy like a surplus of new makeup that's probably just going to gather dust, and that you'll stare at and be like, ugh, I have to use this now because like I wish I could just go ahead and buy this thing, or I would like really love to try that out, and you kind of feel locked into that product. Or maybe you'll be like, I kind of want to buy something new anyway, so that just like sits in your backups drawer. Plus, if all of that happens and things are a lot more expensive, and maybe it's not a good idea to even spend a lot of money right now on something that is at the end of the day an extra. I don't know, ever since that happened, I've just been thinking about how I really need to be more serious about saving and planning for other things in my life and other events that may happen, instead of using a lot of my extra money for purchasing beauty products. Not to say I'm like going on a no-buy or anything, although I've thought about it. Just being more careful because we are so uncertain about the future, and in my opinion it might be a better idea to use the uncertainty about the next 4 years as a kind of stop guard to preventing overconsumption, instead of panic buying a lot of stuff right now to prepare for it, if that makes sense. My last point is block out the noise kindly. If there's a YouTuber you know that over promotes sales, or an Instagram person, TikTok influencer, obviously feel free to mute them. Feel free to put some of your favorite Instagram accounts on ice, kind of step away from them if you know they're going to be talking a lot about sales and you know you are super sensitive to that, or it's easy for you to go overboard and you really, value their opinions, but they can just be a little maybe pushy or over promote sales. Obviously, it's always a good idea to step away, catch your breath, maybe come back, or maybe just, kind of unfollow some people whose content may not at the end of the day be serving you and your goals. And I said block out the noise kindly because for this time of year, and I'm not saying I have any experience with this because I'm not in the kind of professional creator landscape yet, and I don't know if I will be, but I think it's widely known now that this time of year is the most profitable time for creators. There's a lot of money to be made in the influencer economy right now. And I'm still being critical of influencers and creators, but I'm really not knocking folks for taking advantage of that. I think, get brands to pay for your ads, hawk your affiliate codes if you want, do what you need to do to survive and be fairly compensated for your work. That seems fair. However, again, it's one of those things I think being aware of and naming is really helpful, and that's easier than to push it away. I think we as beauty content consumers should just be aware of that. We should be aware that this time of year is where influencers, they're really going at it with promoting and doing ads and getting opportunities to do things like that. And just because an influencer I trust takes a brand deal or is really promoting a certain sale, that doesn't mean that as a loyal subscriber or follower that I have to shop that sale, that I have to buy from the brand that paid them to do an ad. That's not what that means. And maybe I could just engage with the content and brands will see, oh, people are engaging with the content we paid them to do, woohoo. Or maybe I'll just watch the video and like it like I normally do, and that's great too. If you are committed to not shopping Black Friday, I think it's important to just be aware that influencers aren't usually promoting sales because they're so spectacular or they're so different. I mean, there are some steep sales, but a lot of the sales that brands are doing right now aren't even that different than the sales they do throughout the entire year, because it's all one big season at this point. Black Friday is hardly even differentiated at this point. The percentage off is not that dissimilar. Influencers are just going pretty hard with promoting it because it's the height of their earning potential. And I just think being aware of that gives us power, because I don't need to feel pressure to buy just because creators are facing professional pressures. Think of like your friend who's works some vague corporate job that you're still kind of unaware of that is wrapping up Q4 numbers or something, or maybe even like your sister who is a teacher who always needs extra grace and support during the last week of school. Influencers also have bills to pay and they live in the same world we do. We can understand what they're doing, why they're doing it, how their job works, and also prioritize our own goals over that and make sure we are doing what makes us the happiest and what makes the most sense for us. And I didn't lead with it this time, but to close the video out, be kind to yourself. Give yourself grace. This is already a hard time of year as is. It is now being exacerbated by the moment in history we are experiencing right now and the way our lives have been shaped. That is really hard. It feels harder because it is harder. You're not going to get through it and you're not going to meet your goals by hating yourself, by talking negatively to yourself, by downplaying what you're feeling. You're going to get through it by being honest with yourself, by messing up every once in a while. When you're honest with yourself and when you name things and when you're aware of things, that's when you can, in my opinion, make changes that matter and can do better. And better isn't perfect, but better is better than nothing. That kind of felt like a Sondheim song, which means it was poetry, right? I may be shopping the sales a bit. I already shopped one, kind of accidentally. I may do like a recap video, just kind of like a personal Black Friday shopping diary, how my Black Friday went for me. If you want to see that, let me know. Thank you all so much for watching. Remember to give this video a like, helps me a lot in the wild, wild west of the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe if you want to see future uploads. If this was your first video of mine, I hope you enjoyed it. This is very representative of the work I do on my channel, so I would love to have you subscribe. And yeah, thank you all so much for being here. We're gonna be okay. Bye, y'all.